I invite you to open your eyes, and I have a joyful guardian I would like you to meet today. In fact, several. For the past few years, I've been working on some children's stories, and I want you to meet Gritty Grace. She's my snowy owl, and she says hello to you all. And she has a story she would like to share. Once upon a time, in the kingdom of compassion, in the garden of growth, lived a snowy owl named Grace. Grace loved to play basketball. She would practice day and night. One day, it was the day of the big game, the big championship game for her school. And Grace, of course, was the star player. She made basket after basket after basket. The other team was very challenging, and near the end of the game, the score was tied. Grace was past the ball. She ran and dribbled and crash. Grace fell down. Buzz! The end of the game. And Grace did not succeed in winning the game for her team. She was very sad. Everyone else left the arena, and Grace stayed sitting on the floor. And tears welled up in her eyes and fell from her face. After a while, she heard a voice. You look very sad. Grace looked up. It was her friend, Emily the empathetic elephant. I think I'm sad and mad at myself. I understand, Emily said. Grace and Emily sat and stared and stared and sat. After a while, Emily told Grace, I once had a musical recital, trumpet recital. I practiced very hard for it, and at the day of the recital, I blew it. I made one mistake after another. I felt very sad for myself too. But my mom always told me to be my own best friend. She said that no matter what, I am always enough, I am always worthy, I am always loved. Whenever I make a mistake from now on, I tell myself, I am enough, I am worthy, I am loved. Does that really work? Grace asked. Why don't you try it for yourself? Grace put her wing on her heart, took in a deep breath, and said, I am enough, I am worthy, I am loved. Her heart felt happier, and she felt uplifted. Grace continued to be her own best friend from then on. So thank you, Synchronicity, for the wonderful songs that were chosen for today that supported this message, and for the Daily Word that also supported this message, that just all kind of came together. When we make mistakes in life, it's not easy to believe that we are enough, we are worthy, we are loved. That's when having a faith mindset is incredibly important, because knowing that we are enough that we are worthy of love and belonging no matter what, and that we are the essence of love and that we are loved. Like the day we were born, we did not have to do anything to be loved. All we had to do was be, and we were loved, and we were the experience of love, and we were loved. And that is true for our entire life. But it's easy to forget in those moments where we make a mistake and shame takes over us. And we lose the ability to believe in our own worthiness. One critical moment in my life, was when I was reading Brene Brown, and she pointed out that the difference between wholehearted people, who cultivated joy and peace and love in their lives, and people who were not wholehearted and were afraid of vulnerability, was that they believed in their own worthiness. And learning that, I made a switch in my life and said, well, if it's that belief, if it takes that faith in myself to know that I am enough and I am worthy, why not go that route? So I decided, then I was like, okay, I'm going to start to believe in my own worthiness. And furthermore, why are we not telling every 6-year-old in the world? I mean, I wish I knew this when I was 6 and I was 10. So that's what motivated me to start to write these Gritty Grace stories, which I have faith one day will be published. It's to get that message out of we are all enough, we are all worthy, and we are all loved. However, one big obstacle to believing and having faith in our worthiness is shame. So I have another friend, because a lot of people don't understand quite what shame is. And to tell you the truth, I often got confused what shame is. So our friend Lily the Labrador, by the way, happy Labrador weekend. I can't claim it. I did steal that off of Facebook. This is Lily the Labrador story. Lily the Labrador learned self-love. Lily was a Labrador puppy. She loved to run and play. Sometimes she would be clumsy and fall down or crash into things. She was still growing into her feet. One day, her friend Grace was visiting for a play date. They were playing tag in the living room on the shiny wooden floors. Grace slipped and slid across the floor. She accidentally crashed into an end table. A pot of flowers that was on the end table crashed onto the floor and on top of Lily. She was covered in dirt. Lily's dad came running into the room. He looked at the pot of flowers broken on the floor. He looked at a shaking and dirt-covered Lily. "Bad dog!" he barked angrily. He hopped away to find the broom. Lily's eyes were full of tears. She ran from the room. Grace gave her some time and then went to sit with her. She put her wing around her shoulder and let her know she was not alone. "I'm a bad dog, I'm a bad dog, I'm a bad dog," Lily said to herself. "It sounds like you're feeling shame," Grace said. Lily responded, "I feel sad and mad at myself. I also feel afraid because Dad yelled at me, and I feel dumb for knocking over the pot of flowers. I should have known better. That's what Dad always tells me. I don't know what shame means. What is it?" Grace explained, "Shame is when you feel bad about who you are. Guilt is when you feel bad about what you did. They feel similar, feeling mad and sad at yourself. It's easy to get them confused. But there's a big difference. Even when we make mistakes, it does not change who we are. We are still enough, we are still worthy of love and belonging, and we are still loved. We may not always feel that at the moment, but it's still true. We can practice telling ourselves, I may have made a mistake, but I'm still enough. Next time I will know better, but right now I'm still a good dog. But Dad called me a bad dog, Lily exclaimed. Grace responded, yes, I saw that. And I see how hurtful it is, too. Grace sighed, and Lily experienced her feelings. I think he may have just been angry because the crash scared him and he saw the broken pot. Deep down, I know he loves you and shows you in other ways. When our anger is triggered, it's like we become somebody else. But I know you have a good heart, and you know you have a good heart. We are enough, and we are worthy for who we are on the inside, not on the outside. Your dad was upset because of the outside behavior, but not the inside you. The inside you is always loved. There was a knock on the door. It was Lily's dad. He said, I apologize, Lily. The crash startled me, and I felt angry when I saw the mess. I reacted instead of responded. I still love you. Let's clean up the vase together. So, in essence, shame is when we feel bad about ourselves. And we probably have all experienced those moments where we make a mistake, and instead of going into guilt about what happened, we go into shame about who we are. I know I do, and I still do, even though I know better. It's still easy to get, have those shame gremlins, as Brene Brown calls them, attack you. But there is hope. This next poem, I hope, supplies a map to going from shame and feeling bad about yourself to the hope of becoming wholehearted. And this comes from a time when I myself was in 6th grade, and it was not a great experience. And I got bullied a lot. I've been bullied my whole life, especially because of my speech. We called retarded a lot. I've just been very bullied, and I did not feel good about myself. And this is about walking the halls of my junior high school. I walked these halls once. You may not have known. I could hear you call me ugly. I was not deaf, and you were right behind me. I walked these halls once. You may not have known. I could hear you call me stupid. I didn't speak too clearly. I walked these halls once. I felt hurt at hearing these things. I wanted to disappear. I did not feel safe being seen or heard. I walked these halls once. I felt deep shame. I felt I was nothing. I felt worthless. I walked these halls once. I dragged myself out of bed. What torture it was to come here every day, even though I loved to learn. I walked these halls once, shutting my heart behind a wall, cutting off any flow of love in order to keep the hurt out. I walked these halls once. I numbed myself to feeling. I built a fortress of fear to protect my sensitive heart. I walked these halls once. I believed that if I could be perfect and please everyone, then maybe I could earn the right to exist. Since then, I lost a good friend. My heart felt shattered. I prayed out for help. Then I felt a presence, and an inner voice said, "You are whole." Now I walk these halls. I own my story and I own my pain. I own my shame and I own my rejection. I surrender to the presence of love. Now I walk these halls. I see how I saw acceptance, and belonging from others. I breathe deeply in, and breathing out, I let go and cancel my goal for anyone else's approval. Now I walk these halls. I remember the truth. I was born in love and joy. My heart has always been and will always be whole. Now I walk these halls. I give myself my own acceptance and my own approval. I step into my power and I let my light shine on. I dare to dare greatly and rise strong. Now I walk in the wisdom. I am always enough. I am always worthy. I am always loved. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Charles.